Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dropped Frames. I'm JP McDaniel, joined as usual by CohhCarnage and Ezekiel III. And our special guest this week is none other than Danny B himself, smiling down there, being a happy little. Did I miss the memo that it's Beanie Week?
You got to join the Beanie crew.
Well, you have to because
I'll be right back. You guys keep talking. I'll go find one.
we got to be the white bearded male beanie wearing show today.
We got that demographic on lockdown.
Well, this motherfucker. For those of you who don't know, like the behind the scenes shit. Like I was sitting here about 20 minutes ago, maybe 25, and JP was like, "Shit, I just woke up 2 minutes ago. Oh, I gotta get ready." Because he's a fucking douche.
Cover blown.
No, he is the worst about like giving other people shit about that, about not being prepared and being late and that kind of stuff. But what's good for the goose, right? Hi, Danny.
Go on.
Oh, it's good for the gander. Oh, nice. It's an H1C1. I have one of those too.
All right, this is the only beanie I own.
They were throwing them out. They were throwing them around at the whatever PAX that was. I have like 2 of them, I think.
Yeah, this one's spent for whatever reason. It's always been next to my bed on the right-hand side, which is closest to the wall of the window.
Are you sure you don't use that for something else?
No, I don't use this for jerking off. I use other stuff for that. But who would use a beanie? That would be terrible.
Why? It's made of yard.
It's so coarse, though. You'd fucking be peeling skin from your dick. It'd be so fucking. Anyways,
to the topic of conversation, Danny. This is how we roll.
Yeah. Also, Zeke, your mic's a little low. Sorry about that. I should have sound checked.
Oh, it is? Okay. I can pump myself up.
Yep, not a problem. Anyways, our guest today,
There we go.
who's blinded by the hoodie.
I am more beard than man.
You look like an executioner.
It's true. It's the new Dark Souls character.
Is this sausage sandwich over here?
There you go.
He's gonna execute that sausage.
So for those that don't know Danny B, he's made quite a lot of music, mostly in the indie game scene. I think pretty much all in the indie game scene. Is that correct, Danny?
Everything, yeah.
Yeah. I guess
encroaching on AAA.
you're not encroaching. You have no
No,
interest.
I am. Absolutely.
Okay.
The award thing was my Sudetenland.
Okay, gotcha.
An indie game
I'm
music
sorry,
Hitler is what I'm saying. We're going to Hitler right away.
There you go. So I guess we'll start off. Have you always been into music your entire life, or?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can remember doing before music was video games. So kind of both. Like I just like my mom had like Cakewalk on her computer when I was a kid, and I was like in band in like 5th grade, and they're like, it came down to like I can play the tuba or the snare drum, and I'm like, fuck yeah, snare drum, and like then they put me on the glockenspiel, and I was really upset about being on the glockenspiel, and they
Not just a funny word; it's an actual thing.
Oh yes, it means the fun play bells in the German,
Yeah.
I guess. But I took the sheet music home and I like put it into Cakewalk, and I did like when I was like 8 years old, I did like a techno remix of Good King Wenceslas.
That's a glockenspiel,
And, like-
by the way.
What's that?
I'm just showing everyone what a glockenspiel is so they understand. 'Cause they know what it is by pictures, but they've never
Das
actually.
ist die Glockenspiel.
Yes.
Du musst spiel die Glocken.
You must play the Glockenspiel.
Exactly.
If you don't, you will be 9. Sorry.
Exactly.
It is a very pretty instrument. It reminds me of the snowfall in November.
Extremely efficient.
I don't know if we're being racist or you guys are just like really good at being Germans today.
Germans
know.
are very efficient people.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Okay.
That's where we're just gonna end that conversation right there.
So you put your sheet music into. So Cakewalk was kind of like Mario Paint.
No, it's like a just music program where you put in like music notes and it plays it through MIDI. I loved MIDI growing up. Like I was the guy who went to like the MIDI video game GeoCities page and like download all. and like I would just spend time just like listening to like Breath of Fire 3.
Oh,
MIDI
what a fucking good game.
and unmuting tracks, and like, wow, like music is this like, it can be this like malleable interactive thing. Like, because I was in band and stuff, and I was in percussion, so I'd always be in the back, and it'd be like, oh hey, cool song, I have 70 measures of rest before I hit the cymbal. So I got a lot of time to just like hear it and like hear the different sections and stuff. So I think that's probably what ultimately, you know, and then obviously love video games, because who the fuck doesn't? But like just that combination just somehow got me here. But you know.
Were you a band nerd in high school?
Oh yeah, I was in band council.
Say what?
I was the spirit commissioner. I led the cheers and shit, dude. Like I
actually know what that's like. Yeah.
I was specifically leveraged because I was a crazy asshole.
Oh, okay.
But not was. I mean, you still are.
People change. Now I'm just an asshole.
It's all right. You're in the company of 3 other assholes, so it's great.
Yeah.
You ended up in the right place.
3 beanie wearing bearded assholes.
Beanie Crow.
So I guess, how did you like? I'm sure you get this question more than as much as we get the how do you start streaming. How did you get into like making music for indies and being successful at it? Like that seems like a really hard path.
Yeah, it's kind of the cliche. Like you never really hit the mark you're aiming for. I guess you just kind of shoot for the moon because you'll land among the stars. Like I was writing music for indie films. I thought I was going to be like a film composer, like Danny Elfman, Hans Zimmer, that kind of thing. Because like I really like film music and stuff, and was taking music theory and all this stuff. And for like 7 or 8 years, I did music for random indie films that I could find around Phoenix, Arizona, the hotbed of Hollywood. And I think over like 7 or 8 years, I made about $2,000 total. And so it was just, you know, but all that time I was just kind of getting better and refining my skills and stuff. And I mean, long story short, like through just a real weird path. Like I met a guy named Adam Saltzman kind of through Overclock Remix, which is a site I also did remixes for, where they do video game remixes. And we just started talking and stuff. And he sent me this game once called Gravity Hook. And he showed it to me. I'm like, hey man, it's pretty cool, but it needs some music. And he's just like, nah, I think this one I'm just gonna keep it, no music, see how it works. And I literally said, fuck you, I'm writing music anyway. Like, fuck you, I'm writing music anyway.
Nice. Yep.
And he was probably just like, whatever. And like 20 minutes later, I sent him something, and he was like, yeah, this is awesome, do more music. And that eventually led to Cannonball, which led to other gigs, and just kind of just went from there. Like, I'd be lying if I said I completely understood how I got here, and I would imagine a lot of successful people feel the same way. You just fucking do it for a really long time and be ready when the lightning strikes.
Sure.
You know, it's like a cliche, but the shitty part is it's like true.
No, it's
just,
very true.
Absolutely.
So I just want to, like, when you said you were making music for indie films, like, were you asked to do it, or did you just see the indie film and were like, I'm gonna make some music and send it to you and use it if you like it and then pay me? Or how does that? I don't know.
This is probably totally discrediting Danny, but have you guys seen Saving Sarah? Is it Saving Sarah Silverman? No, that's
It's just Saving Silverman.
No, Saving Sarah Marshall. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. That's what I'm talking about. Jesus, I fucked that up.
Terminator 2 is what you're thinking.
You made like 4 different movies.
Yeah, no. Anyways, there's a scene where the main character, he writes music for the TV show that she's in, that Sarah Marshall's in, or whatever. And I just wonder if Danny is in the same world as that, where he watches a film and then just hits a random note on the piano when something dramatic happens, because that's fucking awesome if that's what you do, but it's probably nothing like that.
I've never seen that movie, but it's exactly like what I did.
Okay, all right, fantastic. You should go watch that movie then. You'd be into it.
I'm not going to do that.
At least he's honest.
It's true. At least he's honest.
No, but so it was more, I mean, this shit is always like who you know. I mean, I knew people who friends of friends, friends of family, that kind of thing. And like, it would just be like, hey, check out my demos. And it's just like, hey, 40-year-old filmmaker guy, check out this sweet Final Fantasy remix. Hire me. And a couple people actually fell for it, and I did. And no, like with films, it's a lot different because you have to score two things that are happening. So it was always the other way, where like they would show me the film, and then they're often terrible, horrible abortions of creativity, and I would put music on them because I had no choice.
What was the first film you did? Do you remember? Do you even want to promote it?
He was like some shit show called
I don't want to make fun of nothing because I really like the guy who made it and everything, but like,
Well, maybe just describe it and not give the name so you don't feel spam.
it was, well, I mean, they're gonna know it was a kind of a pro-life propaganda film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's something. You don't choose your first gig, I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
how do you how do you make music for that? Like,
Yeah, what was that
let's
music?
see. What piece of music can I write that will speak to the agenda of this film?
Lots of kazoo and vuvuzela and
Like it's like lots of sad trombone, like, and she got wah, wah.
Jesus.
nah, just cheesy ass piano and shit, and just no. But like I said, like I still, I mean, the guy I worked for, he was very nice and stuff, and we worked, but it was just, and it was cool because like I was clear from the start. It's like, dude, I'm not into this pro-life shit at all. He's like, yeah, that's all right, and so it was
good.
cool. But like, you get gigs where you can and just build from there, and like you just compromise your morals as much as possible to make money.
What would you say you're most proud of when with your work in indie films? What's the one that you're just like, fuck yeah, let's go watch that movie because I'm in that movie, kind of.
I did do music for a short film with Bill Engvall and Danny Trejo.
Ooh,
Whoa.
Those
Okay.
are names I know.
yeah.
I also did one with Judd Nelson.
Oh, nice.
I don't even know if you can see that one though. And Tracy Lord, the porn star.
Okay.
Yeah,
Was
I'm a
that
little
just a
more
porn,
proud.
or was that just a short film? Or was it a
Yes.
short? Okay, all right,
yes.
gotcha. Understood. Understood.
It wasn't Delta Farce, was it? Because I seriously, I just
I wish.
Googled Bill Engvall and Danny Trejo, and that Delta Farce is the only thing that came up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
Wait, Cowboy Dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cowboy Dreams. Woo!
There you go.
Uh,
Are you
But yeah. Huh?
Are you credited on IMDb for? Do they do music credits on IMDb, or is it only?
Yeah. Yeah, I should be on there. I'm probably under like Daniel Baranowski.
I don't even know where. Oh no, that's not it.
we're gonna crash the site.
No, I'm not Danny Bonaducci.
Danny Bonaducci.
I don't even know where it lists the like audio.
Oh, there it is. Music by Daniel Baranowski. Look at that.
Where do you see that? What'd you click on?
You go to full cast and crew of Cowboy Dreams, 2009 Cowboy Dreams,
Oh yeah. Okay.
and then it says music by, and that's the only credit.
Oh,
That
nice. Well, now I can
Danny
just look at his
Well,
entire.
No, I just linked it. There's like I have a full one.
Yeah, I didn't know you had a full IMDb.
Composer, actor, music department is what it says.
Music department for Super Meat Boy.
Apparently, yeah. No, I guess they got my roundabout cameo in here.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, you were
Oh yeah.
the Canadian tourist
Oh sure.
and Swedish.
Yeah.
You did two tourists.
Oh yeah. See, it's the same voice. It's
That's true. That's
I'm
true.
terrible at the things.
I'm
Yeah,
more.
I just-
I'm just looking at your IMDb. Is this totally random side thing? Is IMDb self-curated, or is this? Do people submit this? Like, how the fuck does IMDb work?
I have an IMDb. I have 2 credits on IMDb that I have done. I did nothing.
Oh,
They're just there.
I think it's like Wikipedia where people just do
submit it. Or if you do a movie, you can submit the movie with all the credits, and then it builds it.
I'm sure the big boys got social media people or lawyers or shit that do it, but like, no,
Sure.
I haven't done anything, and this just it exists. It's missing a bunch of stuff, but I mean, it's more focused on the film stuff.
Oh yeah,
obviously, it's missing a bunch of games. Actually, I think there's indie video game database or something. There's a video game database that has like everything.
IndieDB.com.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see. Let's search. Danny.
No, that's something else.
Oh, that's something else. You're on there though. IndieDB. No, that's not it. I don't know. I don't know which side it is.
Let's play struggling to Google thing.
Yeah. That's what the show. I think it's called Forgetting Sarah Hold on. Let me Google. Let me find the movie.
I was thinking of Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Oops.
Being John Silverman, but forgetting about it.
Oh, man.
No, that's the funny thing. You look at his IMDb and it says composer credits 9, and then down here it says music department 1 credit, Super Meat Boy. What the?
I'm in the music department.
Well, a lot of that isn't that just that people can make up the credits and the terms for the credits? So that's what that is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I guess was Super Meat Boy kind of your big quote unquote break, or was it the game you mentioned before that's named Cannibalt? Was that the big one?
I think Cannibalt was the first success. I mean, Super Meat Boy was a lot bigger. Yeah, I mean it's kind of both. It's kind of been a staggered thing over the years, and I guess it's still going. So,
Do you mind if I play some Cannibalt music?
sure.
Okay. Do you have a favorite song from these 6 on your dbsoundworks.com.bandcamp.com page?
Probably the one called Run, because I'm good at naming things.
Okay, here we go. I think.
Yeah,
Here, I'll pump
Run.
this into you guys.
Pump it into me.
There you go. We'll just have this on idly as we talk about it. So, like, what was the process like for writing this? Did you play the game?
A lot of that.
You just did that? You just sat in the room, you're like, the music's in my mind, man. Well, Danny, we need it on, like, we need to hear. No, man, it's in my mind.
A lot of interpretive dance.
You were of course naked during this normally, right?
I'm naked right now from the navel down.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all? I like how everyone's dancing. I'm just like, man,
Wait,
we're all
Cannibal.
white dancers.
Is that the Endless Runner game?
Yep.
I played that. I know that. That's awesome. It's absolutely awesome.
This is
That-
Phoenix. I know.
It's funny, like that's one of the most common reactions I get from people is just like they'll know me for like 2 years. They'll be like, "Wait, did you do Cannibal? I played that." Thanks,
It's
Mom.
fun, man.
I'm just
I
listening
played that
to
for like
music.
3 hours straight flying to California. Just did not stop the entire time. That music is ingrained in my mind. That's why when I was like, wait a second, I heard this.
You're
There you go.
welcome.
There you
Thank you,
go.
Danny.
No, but so what was the process for this? Like, do you play the game first and then you're like, all right, this is what works for that game? Or
This one was kind of unconventional. He was Adam was jamming on a concept of like 1-button games or whatever.
right?
And I wrote the music in one night. He made the game in 1 week, which is weird because of all
Wow.
the games I did before that. This was the one that started paying my bills, but that's kind of how it works. It was, when I was playing it, it was literally just like a white square on gray squares. And there was some like background art and stuff, and I knew Adam enough to know kind of what he was going to go for or whatever, but like it was just used my knowledge of video game music over years and years and make something that'll fit. And I wanted something that was like dynamic, because if it was going to be endless running, you're going to play it over and over again. Like you got to have something that's going to be like intense and then not intense, but still fit every situation.
Sure.
But yeah, I was writing it over one night. I had to get it done. My power went out in my house, so I finished it in my living room next to my grandma on my laptop. Hi, Grandma.
I thought you were going to say you lost it all and had to rewrite it.
No,
Okay.
I would have quit.
Yeah. That seems like it would be a nightmare for sure.
Mm.
For sure. I assume has your studio or the place where you write grown immensely since then? Or is it still pretty much the same space in terms of the equipment and everything you have?
Yeah, I mean, so we moved to a new house recently, but in the last house, it was pretty well set up. Mostly like Jim Morrison posters and the Who posters, and I really only care about the poster.
That's what makes good music is posters, you would say,
Yeah.
for the inspiration.
Right. Oh yeah. Right now it's kind of hodgepodge, just because I am lazy as fuck and I didn't want to set everything up. But I am thinking about actually getting finally a like external studio somewhere where I would go there and like have like an actual studio proper and a window and all that kind of thing. So that'd be cool. But as far as like the process goes, like it hasn't really changed much. I don't play keys. I'm a drummer, so like I click in about 99% of everything. I just click it in the little boxes. That's my advanced music writing process. Is I click squares into other squares.
It works.
I did that for 2 years. I feel you, man.
It works. It works. What was how did Super Meat Boy come about? And how early on in the process for Super Meat Boy were you kind of roped into it? Because that game's probably, in terms of the indies that you've worked on, you're credited for, like that's probably the one that I think everyone would know who doesn't really play that many indies, just because of how large and big that game is.
Yeah, I mean it was kind of just I had met them after Cannonball, and yeah, I mean just kind of I don't really remember. It was a long time, fucking 5 years ago, man. I can't remember nothing. It was just you. I have no story here. Story not found. Like
Nothing.
They hit me up and I said yes, and shit happened. Like
Was that a case of was it the same thing for Cannibal, where you played the game first at a very like basic level and you just started writing once you understood that it's kind of a speed running style game?
Yeah, pretty similar. Just you get a little prototype that's a little something, and then you write it, and it's kind of why I think I like writing for games more than movies, is that like you can write, like you write for a movie, it's like, all right, shit's done, make some music for it, like shit happened, like put something on it, and we're done. But like games is just like you can make stuff and send it to them, and they'll be like, hey, I'm gonna listen to this while I make the level. I'm like, that's cool. We're kind of like doing it all in concert, that kind of thing. So I mean, it was just a year and a half of that. So,
well, I'm sure like movies they've got to be a completely different mindset to make music for movies, because making music for a game, that like a level that can go on for as long as until you die, like there has to be like kind of a loop process.
Yeah.
Whereas a movie, you got like this happens here, 30 seconds, then this happens, and then you got to stop and then do this, and then like that kind of shit. It's got to cut your hands off.
Well, I don't want to impugn film music, because I love film music, but like as far as what interests me, like I'm not as interested in film music anymore, just for that reason. Like it's so much more challenging and interesting to me to be like, hey, you're a cube of meat in a haunted hospital, making music that can fit any situation that would happen, right? Like I like making these loops and stuff and interactive tracks and stuff that like can score any possible set of events. So
now, do you have like shit that's like not complete that you have completed based on somebody asking you something? Say like, I have this idea for this part of the game, and you're like, oh shit, I have a beat that might fit that.
Yeah, I have about 4 hours of music that is unreleased, and I got to figure out what to do with it, because games get canceled, you drop out of projects, that kind of stuff doesn't get used. So yeah, there's definitely an elephant graveyard of chip tones.
So now every time you get a new opportunity, just go through the graveyard and be like, "Hey, I just made this for you. Here you go."
Let me see if I can
Phoning it in like a pro.
Just for you.
There you
Why
go.
are there so many kazoos and trombones in this?
Why is there sad
Wait.
trombones?
Why does this music make me not want to get an abortion?
Jesus. In terms of music or certain songs or certain games that have like given you a hard time when it comes to like the writing process, is there any one particular where you're just like, that was a motherfucker, man? Like that one, it took forever to bang that one out.
It's gonna sound weird, but no, not really. Like I don't know. It's whether I've just been lucky to work with like good devs or something, or I'm just fucking awesome. But like, I don't know. Like I just usually, I don't. I just work. I guess I don't see it as hard. Maybe like even if I have to like rewrite and stuff, like it's fun and it's interesting.
Right.
So like maybe, like even if that is the case, like I wouldn't know it because it's just like, oh, because like this whole idea of like working with a developer to be like to understand what music they would write if they could, to like just okay, this is what the feeling you're trying to evoke, this is the thing you're trying to do, like that's interesting to me. And so I guess it's never really, I mean, sometimes it's frustrating and sometimes it's stressful and stuff, but like no, I can't think of any projects where it was just like I was just slamming my head against the wall. Desktop Dungeons, we came up against a very quick deadline. So the end of that one was about a week or two of like, 20-hour days.
Jeez.
Where I would just like write as long as I could until I had to sleep for like 4 hours and start up again, which I mean, I probably sound like a baby to like anyone who's ever worked in games development who do that for months at a time. But like, I mean, that was probably the most challenging one where I had to just dedicate a couple weeks of my life to finishing this thing, and it was a lot of hours.
So going to the music side a little bit, what is kind of your progression when you make this kind of thing? Are you the kind of artist that you come up with a loop or something you like and then you can just bang it out, or is it the kind of thing where you have to do a bunch of testing, just play around with it, throw something out, maybe like, is it the work 5 hours sing and get one loop, or do you go in knowing exactly what the sound is and what you want it to sound like?
It kind of depends, but usually what I end up using is a natural extension of what I start. So I don't end up, it sounds like a lot that like, I have 4 hours of unreleased stuff, but not very much of that is stuff that was like in a game and just didn't get used. It's like, I'll start a thing, I'll send it to them. Just last night I did a track, and it's just kind of like, I know it's not done, it's really rough, but I just sent it over, and then they can I don't mind. Some people like to finish tracks before they send them to developers. I rather would just like have them see it as it goes along. Like you kind of worry about micromanagement and stuff, but like I'll just send it to them and be like, hey, this is what I'm thinking, the direction, and then they can be like, okay, well, no, I was thinking like more rock and like less techno or whatever. Oh, okay. So then I know, and I just kind of refine it and keep going from there. And again, maybe I'm just awesome, but I mean, I'm probably guilty of trying too hard to salvage things that shouldn't be salvaged, where like sometimes they'll change so much that the original is almost like unrecognizable. But no, I mean, I think there's something about me that just, I'm kind of a pack rat in general. Like maybe I just never want to throw anything away, like including music ideas. So.
Very cool. Very cool.
Now, do you go out and get jobs, or are you good enough now that people just come to you?
I am fortunate enough now that, most gigs come my way, or just are extensions of like previous relationships, like Ryan Clark from Necrodancer. And that took a long time to get there. So, yeah, that's good. It's a good thing. It's better than going out on the street and offering HJs for gigs,
So is that this is, you like where you're at? like video games, and like this is you're good here, or do you want to move on to like maybe doing movie shit and that kind of stuff?
Nah, I mean, I'm. This is good, man. I mean, I make a good living. I write music for video games. I got time to play video games. I live in Seattle, which is fucking awesome. Yeah, no, things are good. And I'm, and also like people are just like, yeah, maybe one day I'll do the music for Call of Duty or something. I'm like, I'm not against that. Like,
that'd be a nice paycheck, man.
It would be less money, probably.
Really?
Like yes, that's the thing. Is like, I usually go whole hog on indie projects and forego payment for back end.
Oh, okay.
Actually, so that's weird. You wouldn't expect that, I guess, but like, that wouldn't, drive my. I'm sure I would be well compensated, like if I scored Call of Duty or something. But like, I think it would be really fun at some point to like work with a real orchestra and like work with, a big team and all that kind of stuff. But
that'd be crazy.
If it doesn't happen, and also it's weird that after 7 years of trying to write film music, like epic film music, I'm the chiptunes guy, right? Like Desktop Dungeons is probably my favorite album of music I ever wrote, and no one bought it. Like, it just they aren't like super into orchestral music, especially in video games.
What's your favorite song from that? I'll go and play some.
Troll in A minor.
Okay.
And this was
got it.
So this was my mom raised me with a lot of different kind of music, and one of them I remember is Peter and the Wolf. And
oh yeah.
This level was like, okay, you try to get across a bridge, and there's a troll, and he stops you. And so this was basically like my trying to do Peter and the Wolf with like leitmotif of like, here's the troll's theme, he's like a crazy trombone, and then here's the monk, here's the fruit, and like all that. So, but yeah.
Did anyone else think of the when you said the troll in A minor? It's like, did anyone else think of the Always Sunny? It's like, you gotta pay the troll to get into this boy's soul. So
the thing about that is, iTunes wouldn't let me specify that the A was capitalized. So on iTunes, it's Troll in A minor.
Oh. I guess without getting too specific into the business, because that's her own business, but like what is the main, in terms of like Bandcamp and iTunes and
how much money you make? We want numbers.
Back end on games, like what's the one where you, I guess, after the game's out, after that's all paid for, what's the big generator? Like what's the one that you drive people to the most because that's where you're going to get it?
Well, I tend to drive people towards Bandcamp just because people are more comfortable with it, and it's just kind of like a hub, whatever. But I make the vast majority of my album sales from Steam.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because there's so many people that can go and click it?
Yes. And I love you, Bandcamp, but like I make the least amount of money from Bandcamp probably. But that's fine because Bandcamp is like my consumer facing, like, you want my music, go there and it's good to go. But like iTunes and Steam just have such an insane install base.
Yeah.
That like, I'm sure there are people on iTunes who buy my music and accidentally, like, because there's so many people, right? And like, it sells in like 200 countries, and like, I'm sure somebody in Burma really meant to buy Necrodance soundtrack, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't speak Burmese.
Well, and also like when you go, like, it's an impulse buy thing. Like when I go and buy a game off Steam, and it says you could pay $3 more and get the soundtrack as well.
Yeah.
And like, all right, I'll do that. I get the soundtrack too.
Yep. No, that's the bundles, the people go back and buy it. It's just I was shocked by that. I would have thought it would have been, Bandcamp or iTunes, but I think a lot of people still, as much as I would like to extricate video game music from video games in some ways, like so it can stand on its own, I think it's very linked with most people still, that you buy, if you like the music from a video game, you buy it. Like sometimes I get from Necrodancer like, hey, like I don't even like the game, but I bought your soundtrack, and I'm like, I don't know how to respond to that, but thank you.
Well, no, that actually brings up a good point. Like many years ago, before like anybody was doing anything, like Justin TV was like just a thought that was like, oh, it's another stream or just a streaming site, whatever, and no one really was making any money or utilizing it. I was, and you're friends with Man vs. Game, and we were driving around in his car, and he had a USB, a thumb drive that he would plug in, and he would play nothing but video game music, and I was like, what the fuck is this? This isn't. And he goes, just listen to it. It's valid music.
Yeah.
And I let it sink in for a bit. I went, I can see that. I can totally see that. And it kind of changed my mind about like what like it's not just beeps and boops,
Well, mostly. But
there's a lot of beeps and boops. Don't get me wrong, but putting the beeps next to the boops.
Oh yeah.
And maybe using a blip.
But that's one of the things, like when I was growing up and stuff, and like I thought Final Fantasy music was so good, and like I remember when like Final Fantasy piano collections, I would find those, and like I remember my first thought was just like, man, maybe my parents would like this, because like if you play Final Fantasy music on the NES sound chip, anyone over 40 is just like, that's noise, stop it.
Right.
But if you play it on piano, all of a sudden it's like, wow, I firmly believe Nobuo Uematsu is on the same tier as Bach and Beethoven, and a lot of video game composers are, a lot of film composers are too. It's like this de-association of like, you can only like music from certain things. It seems like people are being more okay with liking things that aren't pop music, right? So pop music is still going to be the dominant form of music in the world for quite a while, but like I know lots of video game musicians who tour and supplement their income or get all their income from touring, and I'm probably going to start playing shows myself.
That's awesome.
No kidding.
Yeah, I think Chipsel, the Super Hexagon, she wrote that, and well, a lot of people have encouraged me to, so I don't want to shortchange them, because everyone's like, dude, I've been telling you to play shows for you, and then Chipsel says play a show, and then you do it right. I don't know. My friends don't talk like that. I don't know why I'm doing it. All my friends are from New York.
You got stereotypical like Scorsese friends. Oh wait,
what's the matter you?
I told you that a year ago. I'm walking here.
Hey, Daddy, I love you. I'm your girlfriend, all right? I love you.
There you go. Perfect.
But yeah, she kind of put me over the edge on like, I'm going to put some shit together and see if I can play some shows. But like, I guess the point is like, there's either it's just because the internet has caused all the small ponds to just get bigger.
Yeah.
So like, there's all niches and things that can support all these different things. I don't know what the reason is, but like, I feel like people playing video game music can, obviously I have a career, but like people just playing it, like not even making it, can do it. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of that 30 years ago, it was the radio and it was kind of TV, right? Like now it's like the internet's just opened up so much. Anyone can find a place on the internet. You could fucking be into the weirdest, smallest, most niche thing, and there's 100,000 other people that are like, hey, I'm into that fucking really weird, obtuse thing too. Let's be friends. So like, yeah, of course you can find things like that. I'm interested though, like, have you ever done a show, or is that like a nerve-wracking thing to walk out on a stage?
No, I mean, I'm one of those people who I'm most comfortable when I'm like in front of people.
Really? Okay.
Performing and stuff. Like I wanted to be a stand-up comic when I was younger, and then it's like I realized if I got
you do your friend's voice the whole time.
It's great to be here.
I'm laughing already.
All right, we're having a good time. Then I realized like if I went up there once and like someone called me fat or heckled me, I would go home and kill myself. So I'm like, let's try music instead. But no, so you know, from 5th grade on, I was playing in band and stuff. So from a young age, I did like concerts and stuff. And in college, I was in a bunch of rock bands. So I played I was drummer in rock bands for a lot of years in dive bars and stuff, and it's
Awesome.
it's been kind of weird that this is the job I ended up with. Like I love it, like I have no complaints, but like video game music is kind of just like my shitty day job. It's an awesome shitty day job, but like Rockstar is still the goal, right? Like getting in front of thousands of people and like throwing out music and having people into it, like that's still the goal.
I mean,
like,
that would be a pretty, as someone who doesn't even play, that would be a pretty fucking cool thing to do.
I want to get in a bus or a van and
just tour.
Yeah, I want to go down the Pacific Coast. I want to see the South. I want to see the East Coast. I want to skip everything in between.
You are telling 6,600 people right now that you want to find that. Someone get this man a band.
There you go.
One of you in chat, contact this man.
So you
It would probably. I mean, it would be mostly like a kind of DJ setup. I'm thinking about implementing like some drum stuff, like V drums, like that kind of stuff. But I don't need no fucking band. Last time I had a band, the singer really loved cocaine and fell into the audience at a show, and then I quit.
Nice.
And then I started doing music on my own, and here I am.
It's your
So
VH1
did you ever
origin
go back
story.
and thank you for doing so much coke. I appreciate that because you opened a door for me without knowing it.
When God closes your door, He opens my window, motherfucker.
There you go.
That's right.
There you go.
Now, okay, so you said you've been in bands. Like, how do you know how many? Like half dozen?
Yeah, probably 4, 5, 6, somewhere around there.
Did they have awesome like high school band
Yeah,
names?
like what are some band names here? What are we talking with?
Because I was in a band in high school. I'll go first. I was in a band in high school. The shittiest punk band you ever heard of. We were just terrible. We didn't know how to do anything. And we were called Tail Gunner's Revenge.
Ooh.
That's
That actually
hardcore.
sounds like a cool game name.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's actually
You know what? The funny thing is, that was the made-up video game name that Beavis and Butthead used when they were borrowing it from Stuart, the kid they used to pick on. They're like, that was the game they used. That was the game name, and that was the name of our band.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
My junior high band was named Charlie Gordon after the character from Flowers for Algernon, because our lead singer was kind of a brainer, kind of a smart guy. So,
Nice. So if you got the name, you were in the in crowd.
I guess I still never was in the in crowd, so it didn't work. But
Okay.
No, you're in with the band though. It's like Charlie Gordon. Hey man, I like your name, Flowers for Algernon. You're like, oh, you know it.
I mean,
Oh.
band.
It's true.
No, I get you. I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was your, did you have a favorite band name? I didn't mean to cut you off. I think you were going to continue telling us names. We didn't want to force them out of you, but if you're going to continue, by all means.
The next one was Sticky Trigger Finger.
Okay.
I
love it.
We had God, this was always a problem, man. Like, it's so hard to get a good band name. Like, that's kind of like when I was thinking about, like, if I'm going to play shows and stuff, like, what am I going to go by? I'm just going to go by my fucking name, probably, because
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I would think
Go
if you're Danny B, they're going to think that you're like you are, technically you would be somewhat of a DJ, but they're going to think that you're like a DannyBstyle type DJ, you know, like it
Like
has
a
a lot
B-boy.
of, yeah, like you're going to be dancing on the stage as you're singing.
Yeah. No, yeah. So that's the thing is, like, I'm thinking, like, so I could do Danny B, but the problem is there's a Danny B Harvey, which is like a bluegrass guitar player, and there's a rapper named Danny B. I don't know how big he is or whatever, but like if you Google it, like you find it. So
You got a little competition there then.
well, you know, my hip hop game is strong. But if I go by my name, I mean, it's hard to spell and whatever, but like so is Paul Oakenfold, and he does
Yeah.
all right. So
Yeah, he does, yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to shake the whole. You know, I'm exactly what you're saying. Like, yeah, it's gonna be, oh, you're just a DJ or whatever. Like, there's nothing wrong with being a DJ or whatever. But there is kind of a anti-movement against DJs because of like the one video where the guy's not really turning the knobs, you know.
Right.
And it's I saw a really good response from deadmau5 of all people, where someone's just like, oh, well, at least these people mix their set. And he's like, dude, come on. Like, do you know how much work goes into like making the set? Like, I'm writing all this music from scratch and stuff. And so like now I was worried about, just getting on stage and press and play or whatever. But like at the same time, I spend countless hours like making the music,
That's the payoff, right? The push and play is the payoff in my mind.
He's in kind of a boat though, because most DJs don't make their own music. but yeah,
Right.
I totally see where you're coming from with
Well,
that.
and
You'd be
also-
one of the ones that would, so
Yeah.
that makes total sense. Yeah.
But I also
like,
want to use a tractor or something and mix tracks together. I want to actually, just because I don't want to sit there and be bored. Like I want to have to do stuff.
All right, next one, yeah. All right.
Well, also when a DJ makes music, it's like having a orchestral composer try and do live shit on his own. It's like I've created sounds for the trumpet, the trombone, the fucking oboe, the goddamn timpanis. Like I've got all this shit. You expect me to do every single thing that I put on this piece of music myself live? Fuck you.
Right. And that's a big problem with, electronic music is like, even if I did have a band, like I write a lot of shit that like humans can't do. Like they still try on YouTube. Like that's how I met Jules. Like I never write this shit with humans in mind and then like, oh, guitarist plays Super Meat Boy boss theme because why the fuck not? Humans are robots now. But like
And by Jules, you're talking about
Family Jules,
Family
7X, who did the metal soundtrack for Negri Dance.
Yep.
Gotcha.
No, I met him on YouTube because he did a medley of like Meat Boy stuff, and I'm like, hey, nice, cool thing. That's how I type. And now we're just like really good friends, and he's my guitar monkey. So,
I want to go back to the AAA world and kind of your relationship with that or your thoughts on it. I have a lot of questions when it comes to this, but I guess the first one is like, what is the AAA game that you're just like, that is what I wanted. That music was fucking incredible. The sound design of the game was fucking amazing. That's what I want to do. Like, what's the one game, if there is one, that comes out maybe annually or just the biggest game that's come out in recent times where you're just like, that was fucking awesome. Like, the sound was just amazing the entire way through.
I am, maybe I'll get some hate for it, but I really like Assassin's Creed. Like all of it. Like I'm just
game of the year last year, actually.
It was top 10 for sure.
It's one of those things where like, yeah, is it kind of the same shit every time? Yeah, but I want it. Like,
yeah.
It's my Call of Duty basically. And so, and I like that they're so open with trying different kinds of music. Like the first one was, I think, Jesper Kid. I don't know if he did the other ones, but then like Black Flag is probably one of my favorite just soundtracks in general of all time.
I can already hear the tune in my head when you brought that up. Yeah.
I'm a swashbuckler, blah blah. Like
it's really good.
So perfect. And then Austin Wintory did Syndicate in such a goddamn, that soundtrack is just so cool because it's just like, how did this get greenlit by a major corporation? Because it's like this minimal orchestra that like you can just imagine, like in so many games, like executives come in, they're just like, oh, it needs to be bigger, it needs to be more epic. I don't know why everyone talks like that. People don't talk like, anyway.
Was that Donald Trump?
I need this to be huge. All right.
Make Assassin's Creed
great again.
Make Assassin's Creed great again. That's perfect.
It's a little Trumpy for sure.
Yeah, that's low hanging fruit now. So, but now I eventually, Assassin's Creed would be cool. I would say Final Fantasy, but that's like sacrilege because Nobuo Uematsu is God, even though he's not working on it anymore. Like I would feel like I'm trying to write my own Bible.
Have you ever seen the Black Mages or anything in concert?
I have not seen him. I saw Nobuo. I don't know if he was with the Black Mages, but I saw him once at MagFest, and it was fucking life changing. That's like kind of what we were talking about earlier. Like, video game music is my shit, and like seeing Nobuo play the boss theme for Final Fantasy VII on a stage in real life, which I never thought would ever happen. Like when I was a kid, just listening to video game music, like, and kids would make fun of me for it and shit. Like, it was kind of like you had to be ashamed of like video game music, and that's like changing, and just like seeing him just fucking riff on Final Fantasy VII boss music, which I've heard probably, God,
billion
thousands.
times. Yeah.
It's just so good. Like, yeah, it was amazing. But Nobuo is God. And they're like, for me, game composers, there's like Nobuo and then everyone else. There's a big gap there. Like, Final Fantasy music is the most like important and meaningful music in my entire life.
I would
Like,
say in terms of like the AAAs or the big, like, he's probably the most well-known name, I guess, in the video game world when it comes to like big music, like AAA music.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's like crossover now where like Trent Reznor and Hans Zimmer are coming over, but like as far as like straight game music, yeah, I mean, because it's kind of hard to. Video game composers don't really get like mainstream crossover.
They don't get the love. Yeah, yeah.
Right, which is fine. I mean, I only have like 28,000 Twitter followers. Brr. Like, poor me. Like, no, it's I understand why like streamers get more followers, for example, because they see your fucking mugs all day and they got to look at them, and you got the thing.
Right.
That's the thing.
We're more in your face. Streamers are more in your face, whereas music is in your ears and you never see. You're not thinking, man, I want to see what this guy's saying. You're thinking, I want to hear what this guy's making more. So let's go find his Bandcamp.
Yeah. So I like I said, man, I am a born like entertainer. I want to get in front of people, make them laugh, make music for them, that kind of thing. Like I'm definitely, a lot of artists of all kinds are just like, I make this stuff to express myself. Like, that's cool. I mean, I guess that's part of why I do it, but like, I make shit to like make people happy and laugh and have a good time and good music and stuff. So, it's, do I want fame and fortune? Who the fuck doesn't? I mean, I don't understand anyone who doesn't want to be, rich and famous, but like, I'm certainly comfortable enough now where if this is the level of fame I attain for the rest of my life, I'm good. I'm so good. So,
do you have music that you keep that you create and it's just for you? Like, this is not for a game. I'm creating this for me. This is mine. I'm not going to put it on a game.
Like, how often do I do that?
Yeah. How often? Yeah.
Very rarely. And that's mostly because like since Cannonball in like 2009, 2010, almost everything I've done has been like commissioned for a game or something. And I've just had so much going on. There hasn't really been like a gap. It's something I've been looking into. I do have some stuff I've been working on because I would like to, there is a big part of me that would like to just make an album of Danny B music. Here you go, enjoy, and see how it does. And then hopefully it doesn't do terribly and crush me, and then I have to go home and hang myself. But
why is that always the option B? Like, that's the next thing.
Depression's
It's
a
like,
bitch, man.
hang myself.
Success or suicide?
Depression's a bitch, man. The Robin Williams method is wrong.
Jesus.
I don't think it's too soon. It's been like a year.
He would think it's funny.
He would think
Of
it's
course
fine.
he would.
Yeah.
You would. Yeah.
I love Robin Williams, man. Like that's the weirdest thing about all this too, is like I was convinced I was gonna be, when I was a kid, I watched Cartoon Network and Comedy Central and I watched stand up. Like, how many fucking 10-year-olds watch stand up? But like, I love stand up comedy and I've loved it since I was a kid. And for a long time I was just like, yeah, I wanna do that. But God, it takes balls, man. It takes balls I will never have.
Yeah.
Like,
You basically put your soul out on a stage.
To just, and every time I see a stand-up comic start, there's like the first like 5 or 10 minutes where it's just like kind of awkward. Like, no matter how good they are, it's kind of awkward and you just kind of feel bad for them. Like, being up there has to be a million times worse.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
it's
Zeke can probably talk
I've
about that as well.
Like almost everything you can do in front of an audience. Like, I've done like singing, dancing, acting, like improv. Stand-up comedy is by far the fucking most nerve-wracking, flop sweat, just terrible thing that I've ever tried to do. I've done it like twice, and both of those were like 5-10 minute sets where I was just telling stories from my life, and it fucking sucks. Because it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
I think he doesn't need the promotion, but Joe Rogan, when he goes into like conversations with other comedians about stand up, specifically not talking about UFC or any of the crazy other shit that he talks about, like the most interesting parts of his show are when he talks about stand up and how fucking unreal it is to like go up there and like new comics, old comics, they all still have the same feeling when they first walk up on the stage. Like he said that like you don't get comfortable on the stage, and that's one thing that he loves about it is that he never knows if he's going to go up there and just fucking bomb. Because
didn't they do a poll like years ago where it's like public speaking ranks higher on people's fears than death?
Yeah.
Like literally the scariest thing you can do is get in front like can you imagine like being George Carlin and getting in front of like 20,000 people? Like, and you got a microphone and tell some jokes to this small town.
Yeah. I mean, that would be insane to jump in front of like, if you're at like Madison Square Garden, like, I don't know, whoever comedian it's just insane. I
would want to do that like with music because I'm much more confident with music than like I ever would be with like comedy. I think there's more of a buffer there because it's like loud and stuff, and if people aren't feeling it, like you can't hear them boo and you just turn it up.
That works.
But no, I mean, I can understand the appeal of wanting to be in front of that many people and just like, God, like if I ever had lyrics and stuff in my song, like people singing along or just dropping something and everyone moves at the same time. Like there's just, even when I was just in a rock band, like playing drums and stuff, and like I'd be doing drum solo and stuff, and people would be like, yeah, I'm just like, I'm in the pocket. It's the best ever.
The closest I think I've ever felt like I was a part of that. I was watching Queen perform at I think it was Live Aid in like 1988 or some shit, and like there's a moment where he starts doing the thing where he does the falsetto voice and the crowd like repeats what he's saying before they jump into a song. It's fucking unreal to see him work the stage like that, and it's like one of the biggest like goosebump moments I've ever seen just from watching a YouTube video. So I'll link it on Twitter. I have before if you guys have never seen it. It's fucking incredible to watch Freddie Mercury work a stage. Just unreal. And I'm sure like the ego and the raw just like I'm a fucking badass that comes from doing something like that has to be better than any drug high ever fucking could be, man. It's got to be the craziest feeling in the world.
Let me tell you something. I have done my fair share of the drugs, and there is definitely something about being on a stage in the fucking zone, feeling it. People are feeling it. That is just, I mean, even just playing music like in your house with somebody like can feel really good. But like when there's dozens, hundreds of people with you doing it at the same time, like I'm not into that spiritual shit, man, but like it does like just you get this undescribable feeling and stuff, and
transcendental, like it transcends anything.
And I haven't done anything huge. I've just done like fucking dumb community theater. But I'll tell you, like when you feel like you're in the zone, and you got this dramatic moment, and you got and you're like, you know, in your head, it's like, what I say next is gonna break their fucking heart. And you go, and you drop it, and you just feel the audience like go, whoa.
And that it's funny. It's funny you say that because like I have that same process when I'm writing like certain music where it's just like, okay, I'm gonna tickle their feelings boner here, and I'm gonna keep going, and then boom, punching in the emotions balls. Like just, and I would like to see
tickling the emotion boner is trademark Danny Baranowski, by the way. You can't use that.
But I would like to see you like that. That's something that's like very poignant for you, is like seeing people react to that. Like that's, I don't, you know, it's a much more abstract thing, I guess, with music. Like I'm not going to be playing a set and like that thing hits and then like look in the audience, just like show me your emotions. Like, you know, it's going to be more subtle than that. But like, it's, you know, it's kind of like how all art seems to kind of end up being a lot of the same processes and wants, and that we want out of it, you know, like getting a reaction out of people. Like,
sure,
I love, you know, it's, you don't want to, I try the best I can to like keep my ego reasonable, but when people tell you, yeah, your music's awesome, like it feels good every fucking time. Like,
yeah, for sure.
It doesn't, you know, and so that's the only reason I do it, is validation for my awful.
What's the best compliment you can get? Like, you compliment someone said like, something really nice to you. Like, do you remember one?
Yeah, is it words or is it just someone buying an album, like spending money to hear something that you created?
I think someone compared me to Nobuo once, which was huge.
Congrats.
Sometimes, whenever I kind of have, it sounds pretentious, but like a high concept idea for like a game where it's like Cannonball, for example, like there's like doves in that game where you run through and they like flutter away like a John Woo movie.
Sure.
And one of the things I wanted to do was like have intense pounding music or whatever, but then like there would be, what I noticed is Adam put in a sound effect for the doves and you couldn't hear them over the music. So I thought, what if when the music dives down and gets softer, there would be like a situation where among all this chaos and you're jumping over these buildings and stuff, the music comes down to a low plateau. It's nice and calm, and you go through the doves and you hear this fluttering and then them going away. And that happened. And it was so satisfying for me. But like when people notice that kind of thing, when I try to do something, put a lot of effort into like something subtle, I think that's the best compliment I can get, is that I succeeded in that. Like when people, people digging on the shopkeeper and Necrodancer is pretty good too. Cause like, I had no idea how that was going to come out.
Is that one of a kind, by the way?
Nope. You can buy them.
You can buy them.
Here, you want to see? We made a trailer too. I was like, hey.
Yeah, put it in the chat. I'll look at it.
You know what we should do is we should make like an 80s greatest hits by the shopkeeper video. And Ryan fucking made it happen. Here we go.
We can kind of transition into, I guess, the latest success in the Danny B story when it comes to Crypt and the Necrodancer. Same process as all the other ones, basically. You just kind of got contacted to make it and said it was going to be a music game. But was that kind of something different where it's like, yeah, we're gonna make a music game?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things when you hear it the first time. I mean, I've gotten a lot of pitches for games that seemed kind of stupid. And it kind of, when you first hear it, like, yeah, we're going to make a roguelike, but like, it's like, see, Ryan doesn't talk like that either. What is wrong with me?
It's all right. No, you do. I do voices for all my friends that are all the same. Trust me, it's all right.
So we're going to make a rhythm roguelike, whatever. And it's kind of like, okay, so you're just doing the whole genre mashup thing. But then I got to play it and try it out. And right from the get-go, like, you don't often get to work on games that are about the music, which is fun. And I don't think every game I work on has to be about the music. Sometimes it needs to be more subservient, but like, it definitely seemed fun. And just even the prototype was just fun. And like the idea of like making music that like people would have to be on the beat and stuff was a really cool idea.
Was it like nerve-wracking to you, thinking that, like, because I mean the game is obviously the main focus, but the game is also the music, right, in this case, because it is a music-based rhythm game. Was it kind of like, fuck, if this music is not like amazing, then this game doesn't work? Like, did you ever have that pressure?
I mean, I kind of have this just like background radiation of anxiety that like everything I do is terrible, that kind of thing.
Right.
And like that it's not going to be good enough.
Is it Guy Smiley from the Muppets? Where he's sitting at the piano, he's like, I can't do it. You bang his head on the piano.
That is a critical part of my process, is violently assaulting my gear. But like, I mean, that's the thing, is like when I jump in and do it, like all the fear, all the anxiety, all that just goes away. Like there's a barrier to entry. Like when you start to write, were you saying you used to write music, Co, or you still do?
I did for a couple years, and I DJ'd for a couple years too. Yeah.
But so like you probably understand, like, blank project syndrome, where you just have to blank slate, and every artist deals with that, whatever. But like,
Dude,
there's a
I
barrier.
actually stopped doing that.
there's
I
like
did, like template projects and stuff. I couldn't handle exactly what you're talking about. Like it became too much.
see, I would love to use templates, but I'm just like, I have to start new, and maybe that's just where I am right now. But like, because everything I do has to be from scratch, because I'm really afraid of things like sounding the same. Which pretty much every track I've ever done is from scratch. Like I very rarely will, even on Desktop Dungeons, I rebuilt the orchestra every time. Like people sometimes will have orchestra templates and stuff, and like that seems really convenient, but I just like it feels like you would just get into a rut or whatever. But I guess what I'm saying is like just where was I don't know. Writing stuff like once you get past that initial hour, sometimes half hour, where there's just like the fear of like I'm not going to come up with anything. This is hard. I don't like picking out patches and stuff. There's like a moment where like it crosses over, and then you just coast. Well, for me anyway, you not coast maybe, but just like you're cruising.
You just feel it. Yeah, it works.
And it's coming out, and you just. I feel so fucking smart because I'm like it's a thing I'm really good at. I'm like, it's kind of like this almost.
You fall into the groove, yeah.
Yeah, well, video games and music are so linked for me that it reminds me of like being really good at a video game. It reminds me of just like flying through some competitive shooter or something if I was good at one of those, that kind of thing.
Gotcha. Chad is crying for your favorite song off of the Crypto Necrodancer OST, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. Which is also, it's 42 songs. Granted, did you write 42 songs? A lot of the stuff is...
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the alternate soundtracks are just as long.
Yeah. Which is fucking awesome. If you guys have never played Crypto Necrodancer, they went as far as putting in Danny's original music, but then he had people like, I'm going to fudge up the names, but A-Rival's one of them. Then you mentioned Jules, who did the metal version of the soundtrack.
Yeah.
You can switch to these versions of the songs and play the game that way, and it changes the gameplay in the sense of like the speed and the rhythm that you're actually like mashing to. So it's fucking crazy.
And then the PlayStation and Vita version added one by Girlfriend Records, like a synthwave version, and then Jake Kaufman did a version too.
Nice.
Favorite song though, I probably got to say this one. If you want to play it.
Okay, yeah. Yep. We're going to ask Zeke. Uh-oh, it opened up on top of you guys. I hate Zoom sometimes. Now I can start saying I hate Zoom sometimes. It's fantastic. Zeke, did you have a question?
When it drops, like when shit drops, it's just a matter of like clicking your camera on and off again. Whereas like you don't have to spend a half an hour trying to fix the fucking thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Like with Skype.
Yeah.
No, what I was gonna say was and I'm gonna what is it? What was it? What was the boner? You tickle the not emotional.
The feelings boner.
The feelings boner. I'm gonna tickle your feelings boner a little bit, or maybe your pride boner. But it really speaks to a soundtrack, especially for casual gamers. When you listen, you're playing a game and you're like, it doesn't happen as often as it probably should. But you're playing a game and then you stop and go, whoa, wait a fucking minute, this music is great. And that's what I did with Necrodancer. That's what I did with Meat Boy. I was like, fuck, this shit's good.
I mean, there's that cliche of just like video game and film music work best when you don't notice it, and I don't agree with that. I mean, there's I don't know if that's like a colloquialism that is like in the mainstream or whatever, but among composers, there's this thing where it's like the best film music is the stuff you don't notice, and best game music is stuff you don't notice, and I think that's a very reductive, like bumper sticker way of thinking about it.
Yeah,
and that
totally dependent on the project or the movie. Like,
right.
It is.
I mean, in Necrodancer's case, it is not only a focus of it, it's a showpiece. It makes sense in it. It makes the whole project better because it's a centralized.
Yeah, I think most games in general, if the music is like, one of my favorite things in gaming is watching just montages, like watching not a Call of Duty, Jesus, a Quake 3 montage of just someone being really good at the game and having like dubstep, or even if it's just shitty, trashy dubstep, But having like them hit a fucking awesome shot and the beat drops in like the speed of the montage picks up, I'm just like, this is the fucking best. Like I could watch this shit all day.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think I've ever stopped and noticed music in a video game that wasn't awesome.
Yeah.
You know, like if it's really, really good and it really fits the mood or it really enhances shit, like I've never like when you say like the best music isn't noticed, it's like that's fucking absolute garbage bullshit.
Yeah.
Because the best music is definitely noticed.
Yeah.
Like the example that I always bring up and one of my favorite soundtracks, I'm sure you might agree with me, but when I first picked up Hotline Miami, I was like playing, I put the controller down, I went, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, Kavinsky did some of the drops in that shit. What's the have you seen Future Man Gaming's thing where he like sets up in the hallway with the music blaring? Like that's fucking awesome. Even though he fails completely, it's still fucking awesome. Because the music's playing and he's trying to be a fucking badass and it fails completely. But yeah, Hotline Miami's a perfect, for me, that's the same way. Music is, Kavinsky just fucking nailed that soundtrack. So good.
I think maybe what people mean by that saying though is that like there are certainly situations where it's like a movie or a game is so understated and that the story connects with you and the visual presentation connects with you in such a way that the music just kind of melts in and becomes flush with everything. Like I can see what they're saying or whatever, but it just seems like kind of a faux intellectual thing of just like, because you know the best you can hope for is that people do notice it, because a lot of time game reviews you're lucky to get a sentence, you're lucky to get like, hey, and the music doesn't suck, yay. But no, I mean you want to, even with Necrodancer, I had to make sure I didn't try to overshine the game, you know, because there's still always there's a ceiling there where it's like it's not about me, it's about the game, right? Like if I want to make it about me, I'll make an album, but like if it doesn't serve the game, then why are you making game music? Because that's what.
Do you think that's like composers like for like because they're not noticed as much as like I don't know the movie stars or whatever, the director? Do you think that's composer with that fake ass bullshit humble like it's best if you don't even notice it? I think it's better that way.
Possibly.
That sounds like fake ass humble.
Yeah,
bullshit.
it does a little bit.
Or on the opposite side, maybe they're like, no one noticed my music.
Yeah, so that's what they say in the interviews, so that were you freaking out because the train,
really
Zeke?
Good.
Was it freak out because the train was coming by?
No, it was just really loud.
Oh,
like
it didn't come in that loud to us.
I live a block away from the train tracks.
Gotcha. Another game that for me did really like when the music would come in was Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Like the boss fight music and that stuff. Even the end game, like the final boss fight, which is a complete fucking piece of shit in that game, and the music is still like kind of okay. It still worked perfectly.
Wait a second. I do know a game where the soundtrack actually ruined the game for me. Xeno.
Yeah, Xenoblade X definitely ruined it. Have you played that, Danny?
Literally,
don't play that, Danny.
Bad. It was so bad.
It was really bad.
I had to stop playing the game.
Yeah.
So it does exist. It does exist.
No, I mean I'm not going to call out examples or anything, but like I've definitely had games that were kind of ruined for me by the music. Like,
come on, bad mouth.
You know, I'm probably more picky than most for obvious reasons, but like music is, I think the impact of video game music is slowly being more and more appreciated. And I don't want to overstate my importance, right? Like I don't want to evangelize the importance of video game music just because I make it. I do need to I think it's important to keep a check on yourself and always consider that it's not as important as I think it is, you know, because then you don't overdo it, you know, just from a good artistic perspective, you have to know when to overdo it and when not to. And Necrodancer was certainly an opportunity to like kind of overdo it in some ways and stuff, but like Binding of Isaac was kind of the other way, where I did try to be more understated and stuff, and you know,
we kind of skipped over that small game. Whoops.
A Binding of what? What was that?
I still never played it to this day.
The Binding of who's it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was gonna bring that up. It shows a command of feeling when you can have a game like Necrodancer, which is like right in your face. The music is the main part of the game because you have to be on rhythm and da da da. Where you can also have a game like that is so strange and dark and I don't know, just surreal as Isaac, and you have to have like a toned down sense for shit like that.
And that was, I generally like minor keyed music, which is generally understood to be like sad music. But like, I don't think Super Meat Boy sounded sad because I also like funky shit, right? Like my dial has like two settings, like sad shit and funky shit, and like maybe sometimes in the middle. But like, so Super Meat Boy was like, there's definitely a lot of minor key and stuff in there, but like, it can be really intense and like I can do like big guitars and stuff, but like, and Isaac has that kind of stuff too. But just Isaac to me was the music was kind of my trying to do more of a. I don't want to. It's probably the wrong word and stuff, but like a classical kind of interpretation, like the first level music, like Sacrificial. It's in 9/8. It's got these like triplets and all this kind of stuff, and it's just like bombastic and intricate counter melodies and stuff, and like. I don't claim to be a classical musician because that's something that takes a very long time to like get right or whatever. But like, I felt like, especially with the religious themes and stuff, a Bach-inspired kind of chorale-ish kind of thing, just mixed with normal video game shit that I do anyway. Like that was kind of the approach, and like the boy choir and stuff, like stuff that just kind of elicits shitty church feelings, right? Like,
you
know Catholic, what I mean? So, like,
Catholic. I know that.
Yeah, I was raised Baptist, man. So, like, and I'm out of it now, and like, so, I don't know. I guess there was some emotional stuff to draw on there that I probably wasn't aware of at the time.
But. I guess the indie game scene is kind of. You never really see. I'm trying to figure out how the best to like pose this statement or question. You never really see like AAA devs come out with the soundtrack, and you never see like a composer for like a AAA game besides, of course, Final Fantasy, which you mentioned, be kind of like a part of the game. It's never like, oh man, this guy's scoring the next Assassin's Creed, right? Like you never hear that. Or this guy scored the next Call of Duty, or
I mean, I do, but
you do,
yeah,
right? Because you're in the business, but normal people
right.
or general consumers don't.
Well,
so
also indie devs are way more grateful when something good happens.
Yeah. Sure, for sure,
like,
yeah.
Oh my
genuinely
God, I'm so glad
grateful.
the soundtrack is good. Here it.
Yeah,
here
for AAA, it's kind of like, oh, good, okay, we'll get those numbers next month in the NPD. So I guess the question is like, do you have people that work in the AAA space, and what is it when you guys kind of talk shop? What are some of the biggest differences you see there, and some of the things where they're kind of like, oh, that sounds fucking amazing, dude, I'd love to work on an indie game, and also on the flip side for you, like, oh, that sounds fucking amazing, I'd love to work on a AAA game.
I guess if I'm talking in broad strokes here, because obviously there's a lot of context and everything, but like,
sure,
in broad strokes, I would say when you work on indie stuff, you have a lot more creative latitude, a lot more input. Because again, like you're saying, like, I'm sure Jason Graves and Hans Zimmer and all the big game composers and stuff for AAA have some sway, but it's like they don't have like focus groups and shit to like any like producers and stuff and 4 levels of management just like sending down missives and stuff. Like with Necrodancer, it was like, what does Ryan want? And could I convince him on stuff? Like I came up with the shopkeeper thing. He came over to my house, we got drunk, and I came up with the shopkeeper. And we're like, okay, we're doing it. Like with a AAA game, it's like, well, we have to check with HR and some shit. I don't know. Like
there's a billion checks and balances is what you're getting at, yeah.
Right, which, I mean, I love AAA games, man. Like, I don't mean to demean them in any way, but like as far as the creative process that goes into them, there's a much more direct line between everyone. I think the number one thing is the team size. And instead of having to deal with like agents and contacts and managers and all this kind of stuff, it's just you and the guys. I guess what I would envy of AAA composers is the resources they get to work with.
Sure.
I would absolutely love. I've never had one of my pieces played by a real orchestra, which is like so far up the fucking bucket list, man.
Right, you mentioned that earlier. That would be
To just
pretty insane.
stand there and have an orchestra play something I wrote, man. It's like that trolling.
I mean, you want to tour? Maybe you do a one night only. Just hire an orchestra and have them play your songs.
You know, it's
honestly like. Then this may sound strange, but if you really want to see an orchestra play your music, and it might not be like spot on the super best, but go to a high school, man. They're always looking for shit to play.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Danny B and the Kids. It's the new touring act.
You know,
They're better than you think.
I'm a little concerned about just
walking
walking into a random high school and being like, "Play my music, kids."
Maybe go back to the high school you went to, man, or something like that. I don't know. It's an interesting thing.
I've thought about that, and I'm from once in a while I'm in contact with my band director from high school, and I've thought about it, but just
there's a lot of ego too walking into a thing like,
Yes.
oh, I used to go here, and now I'm doing the fucking Brooklyn, and now I'm a fucking big deal. So you're gonna play my music, kids.
Dude, no,
Someone in chat just mentioned that you should contact Games in Concert, as they're always looking for new stuff.
Oh, the
Maybe,
Video
yeah.
Games Live guys? Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Or are those
that was
two
a great
different
suggestion
things?
in chat.
There's different.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have some avenues that I'm like looking into. So it might happen. It's something I don't really want to force. Like what you're saying about the high school thing, like the whole idea of just like, hey, I used to be your student, now I'm a big deal, play my music, is kind of a little weird. But
Well, you don't approach it like an asshole like that, dude. No, the reason why I said that, is because I was in like the like offshoot, like the what there was like 12 of us or 16 of us, guys and girls, altos, tenors, bass, whatever. And it was called the West Winds. It was like an offshoot of the high choir or whatever. And people would come to the high school and say like, hey, could you come and do this birthday song for this guy at this office space or whatever? And we'd come and we'd sing like, happy birthday, like little poppy style, and Pat, there we go. And then we're out. And they would ask us to do that. Like I did like 10 of those in my senior year in high school.
Sure.
So it's not uncommon.
Yeah. My brother used to play malls. I would have to go sit there. He would play trombone in the marching band. And he was also in the jazz band. I'd have to go sit at North Park Mall for 3 hours and listen to him play fucking Christmas music. Well, I just sat there like a fucking 8-year-old just hating life, just wanting to fucking not be there.
I put my family through the same shit, man.
Yeah. So, but we also got to go to Disney World, so thanks.
Yeah. Dude, I got to march at Disneyland. That was fun. But there's also
we got to go to the Mall of America.
Ooh, there you go. Big ballers.
Yeah. There's also like logistics involved too, where like I would have to like write music out for like score, like on for all the parts and stuff, and that I don't want to do that. That sounds like work.
That's the other thing too is in AAA's you're not just working by yourself. You're working with like a fucking giant. Most of the time, it depends on the team size, but you're working with a fucking team.
God,
who all have their own ideas.
And then you're working with a back panel of judges that are then making sure that all this stuff is exactly what they think will make money.
It's not even, you're trying to fulfill someone else's, kind of like what you do in indie world, where you're trying to fulfill someone else's dream, but their dream is more like, no, it's got to be like this. Like they're probably
and a
lot more
you can't
reluctant.
even talk to those people. Like all you're going to know is their opinion, and that's it. Like change it or okay.
Yeah.
God damn, I wish I had, if I had orchestrators and engineers to foist shit on, it'd be a lot more fun. You know, like doing final mixes and stuff. Like it's usually a good idea to have somebody else mix your music, and I mix all mine because you're too close to it. And then orchestration, like I'm fairly decently educated. I did a few years of like music theory and stuff, nothing crazy. I'm not like, I wasn't like Ivy League or nothing. It was like community college, but it was a good education and everything, but I do not have the skills to properly orchestrate. And so when I orchestrate for full orchestra, I'm kind of just winging it and doing whatever sounds good. I don't know how important it is to properly orchestrate in all cases, because you can still definitely, especially with unconventional instrumentation these days, like Hans Zimmer, how many trombones can we throw at it? Kind of, but like, No, it would be
I would
fun
love to
have
have been in the room for that. Where it's like, trombones, go! Fucking go! Just have like 30 people.
He's got like
Yes.
a bullwhip. He's like. So wait, Danny, does that mean do you do all your own mastering? Wow, man.
I do 100 mixes. So I think I'm kind of lucky in that I'm about equally interested in composing and engineering. So like
Very cool.
I have just as much fun mixing as I do writing. It's just that like, you know, when shit gets real tedious and like you can't get the snare to sit right, that kind of thing.
Yes.
It would be pretty cool to have like an actual super good engineer to be like, hey, make this snare pop, bro. I'm gonna go have a Twinkie. I don't even like Twinkies.
Get some Rooster Booster.
There you go.
Shut up. You're making me. God damn it! Now I'm homesick.
Rooster Boost is an energy drink that they have in Phoenix, but not in Seattle, apparently.
Oh,
Quick Trip. Quick Trip is the best convenience store of all time.
Quick Trip? I think we actually
Trip.
no, we have those in Dallas. Yeah, now that I think about it. Is that the one where you can get the giant, like I'm talking like giant fucking drinks? Yeah.
Probably.
Okay. Well, this is like 72 ounces. Like there's like 103 ounce or 102 ounce fucking
Maybe.
cup.
I mean, I used to go to Quick Trip every day. The people knew me by name. I was like, if I get a tattoo of Quick Trip, will you give me free drinks? Like I was so into it, dude. I miss Quick Trip and I miss Mexican food, but Seattle's still
food's
cool, I
pretty good.
guess.
Yeah, it's still cool, I guess.
There's no Mexican food in Seattle?
It's all
Probably sparse.
fancy ass Tex-Mex, dude. Like I want
You gotta get
just
that dirty
gross,
Tex-Mex, man.
irresponsible, like gross Mexican food that's
Yep.
cheap and not very
We
like
need you some cosmic
well-regulated.
cantinas.
Huh?
Some cosmic cantinas. Oh man,
Is that
I don't know
in
if you guys have
Seattle?
ever been to one of those. Woo! Oh,
Is
Probably
that
a North
Seattle?
Carolina thing.
no, I don't think so. It's East Coast, I think, but I think
Oh.
they're moving west. But
I've never heard of Cosmic Cantina. We've got like we've got Taco Cabana, which is kind of a big one in Texas, and then I'm trying to think of Las Palapas, which is kind of the quintessential fast food when it comes to that.
We have Chipotle.
It's not Mexican food. It's not.
Yeah,
Tex-Mex.
someone just shout out Filiberto's. Ah, yes, Filiberto's.
There you go.
Phoenix, best Mexican food around.
There you go. Well, we should have started the show with this, but we'll end the segment with congratulations on the best audio for Crypto the
We should
Necrodancer.
go to break and then talk about it.
Yeah.
I
Thank
want to
you.
talk. I want to talk about that.
Well, I mean, we can talk about it now. We're no issue. What about it, Zeke?
No, I wanted to give it enough. Like I don't know if we're gonna have a break or
What about it, Zeke?
Yeah, what about it? No,
What about it?
let's talk about it now.
Nothing.
Well, now you don't want to talk about it.
It's like a 10 to 15 minute topic, and I didn't want to like.
Yeah, but
cut
if we
it.
look, if we take a break, then it's on the other half of the show. You'd rather do it on this, so it's all in the same thing.
what about it, Zeke?
What about it, Zeke?
Fuck you guys.
Am I here for the amusement?
No, I'm excited about that, man. That's a major fucking award, and you beat out some big fucking games.
Yeah,
from that
let me
shit.
see who else was running.
Star Wars beat Star Wars.
That's true. You did beat Star Wars,
And Metal Gear Solid 5.
and
yeah,
yeah.
it's still. I'm still really overwhelmed. I kind of figured my like 10-year plan was like, hey, maybe I'll get my GF award at some point, and maybe I'll do a big boy game and get a GDC award. I like when I was nominated, like it didn't really register, and it was like everyone always says, I didn't expect to win or whatever, and like it just sounds like pretentious and stupid, but like I really didn't. I was like, I was telling people like I'm going to San Francisco to lose to Star Wars, like of course. But yeah, man, it's. I'm usually not the kind of lost for words type, but I can't imagine like a bigger honor. Like, what else do you say? Like,
Yeah.
my peers in the game industry gave me a thing. Thanks, peers.
Was that one of the things where
Fuck up.
you were in the audience and weren't even thinking about standing up? You're just having a drink. You're eating the food, talking to schmoozing with the devs, and then they call your name. Not your name specifically, but they say Crypto the Necrodancer for best audio, and you guys are just like, what?
Well, I mean, you just you want to be prepared just in case. Like I've been up for a couple IGF awards, so I've been in this situation and lost a couple times. Like you don't want to be caught completely off guard, but like no, like I don't even remember them saying Crypta the Necrodancer. I just remember them saying something, and then everybody around me just rises up and points at me and screams, and then I'm just like whoa, and I kind of just like wandered up to the stage or whatever, and I had one of the Necrodancer dolls, and I made him sing, and I threw
remember
him the
that. Yeah,
audience, and
I was watching on Twitch.
That's about all I had in me, and then I went backstage. That was weird. You go backstage and there's all these people in like monitors and it's really dark and I'm like, is this the afterlife? Did some interviews and stuff. It's fuck, dude. Like I said, like who doesn't want to be like a celebrity? Like I don't even know if that applies to me or whatever. But like I know a lot of people don't. But like I understand that mindset. Like who doesn't want attention? Who doesn't want recognition and stuff? So yeah, I mean it was awesome and beating out such great other nominees is, I don't know, I probably have like survivor's guilt or something.
Well,
right?
It's the most impressive thing to me. Well, I mean, the thing that I noticed looking at this. Now, you beat out some impressive shit, but also there's some really like huge shit that was just honorable mentions. Fallout 4, Witcher 3. Fucking Soma, Splatoon. These are just honorable mentions.
It's so hard. It's really hard for me to find the fucking other, like, I don't know what website to go to like list. Okay, here it is. Finally, yeah. Battlefront or In the Blind Forest. Everyone's got in the Rapture. Metal Gear Solid and Crypt of the Necrodancers were the.
Yeah, but I'm with you, Zeke. Seeing Fallout 4 in the honorable mentions, yeah, it's. And I am hardwired to be guilty about fucking everything. So I feel guilty about winning when other games had like teams of like dozens of people, and like it doesn't feel fair because like the amount of man hours that went into these other games. I mean, Metal Gear Solid 5, fucking fantastic audio. Not only the even if you take out the license stuff, the score and everything, the sound design, everything, fucking amazing. Star Wars, obviously the sound design there is just.
It's pretty much
Skywalker sound. Like
it's amazing. That was the best part of Battlefront for me was the fucking laser shooting past you and be like, that's a fucking Star Wars blaster. Like that's literally the same fucking blaster.
Yeah. And then Ori and the Blind Forest was amazing.
Yeah.
Didn't play. Everyone's Gone to the Rapture. But yeah, the other games you were listing there, like Splatoon, even and all that stuff. Like
Bloodborne was an honorable mention. Like the Bloodborne music is fucking incredible.
Yeah, so I just no pressure. I just gotta deserve it now. Like I gotta like keep doing stuff. I guess.
Did you up your
like Tom Hanks like earn this?
What were we gonna ask, Co?
I was gonna say, did you up your price significantly now that you're in?
Like what was the after effects? Did the price go up? And also, at the actual event, did you get like AAA people? Like, have you been approached by a bigger studio being like, "Hey, you should work with us"?
Did you talk to the award? Like, what's that award? Oh, that's not enough money. He said.
I'm sorry. I can't hear you over 20 pounds of glass and steel.
Is that thing really 20 pounds?
It's fucking heavy.
I think all awards are heavier than they look. I think that's just a general thing.
I think it's one of those things where it's just like if you're gonna win like a prestigious award, which I mean I think this is one of the more prestigious game awards out there. Like it's got to be solid. You know, like if it's plastic on a base or something, like whatever. But
I'm surprised you actually got it that quick. Total Biscuits took a year and a half to get it from like the video game awards, like the first one. He just got it like a month ago.
Yeah, so he got it after the next show.
Yeah.
I went up on stage and like it sounds really stupid in hindsight, but I go up to Robin, she's holding the award, and I'm just like, "Is that for me?" Like, what? No shit.
And she's like, "No, have you seen Total Biscuit?" It's from
the GDC is voted for by gamers themselves. I mean, or excuse me, the devs themselves.
Developers,
so yeah, the devs themselves. Whereas the Video Game Awards is voted for by gamers, right?
It's by fans. Yeah, it's by fans. Most of it's by fans.
This is
EDC
that's a
awards.
People's Choice Award. This is
Kind of.
Oscars.
Yeah.
This is like the Oscars, like the.
It's the one that matters, really.
I mean, I don't want to say that.
I'll say it's the one that matters because the video game awards, for the most part, are all fan voted, except for a group that are like panelist voted, which is what a lot of like the journalists are voting for, which is also really cool as well. But yeah.
Yeah, but it's as far as like, so I know I haven't, Ubisoft hasn't been knocking down my door yet, but like,
You want the next Assassin's Creed? That you want to go to feudal Japan or whatever? They're taking 2 years off, Danny. They're spending some more time. Maybe they'll contact you.
Again, like this, so this is what's so weird about this is like, and like maybe it speaks to like some imposter syndrome shit or something, but like I just won this award, which is one of the highest awards I would aspire to, and I still don't feel like I'm prepared to work on like a AAA game. Like I still feel like if they knocked on my door and said, "Hey, we want you to do the next Assassin's Creed," I would be a deer in the headlights.
Right.
Because like,
I think anyone would
that's
be.
some grown up shit. Like
Yeah.
this ain't like I would have to put on pants occasionally to do that.
Well, it's also you're walking
you can't get
into
drunk
a
with the main guy.
you're walking into a studio that has 300 plus people working on the singular game. It's like, yeah, we want you to do that audio, just you. Like that would be kind of fucking crazy.
Right, and that's, I mean, like I said, I couldn't be happier with where I am now. Like, if that happens and people hit me up and I work on cool AAA stuff, like, cool, but
You're gonna be working on. I hate this fucking term, but do you have any triple I stuff planned?
I don't. I've never heard that term.
You've never heard that? That's the new buzzword in the video game world, man. The triple I.
I've heard double A.
Oh, I've heard double A as well.
I
hope triple I doesn't stick.
Well, triple I is for game developing companies like Telltale would be.
Well, and also like, I mean,
Kinda,
I'm
yeah.
doing another game with Ryan Clark, and now we have a lot of money from Necrodancer. Like, when does that threshold get crossed? Right? Like when, when I was at GDC, I was at this party, and like I was talking to the bouncer because why the fuck not? And like he was asking me about like why what the difference is between indie and AAA, and there's still no good answer. Like
Yeah.
is Minecraft still indie? Did it stop being indie when Microsoft bought it?
It's starting
Yes.
to fuse where it's just kind of like
I
the world. It's just video games.
When people who aren't involved in the
Or people who
development
just make
in
video
any
games.
way are dictating the course of the project, you've officially become AAA.
that's good. Which I would
The
like to
devs stop
probably,
being the ones making the choices, basically.
yeah, and I mean I could say all day like, yeah, I want to avoid that, and I want to just I don't want AAA because of the interference and stuff. But I've never actually worked on a AAA project, and it could be completely not like that at all. I mean, I know people who work on AAA projects, and they do sound more stressful. They do sound like you need to take input from a lot of different people, but they had a good time and they're proud of it, and it's cool. So, yeah, I mean,
Well, you see,
honestly, I just don't know if I have time right now for anything else. But
Yeah.
you see those fake behind the scenes like big budget movie, and the producers like are coming in to like talk to the actors and director, be like, I don't really like. I don't like that it's dark at night. Can we make it lighter at night? And the writer is sitting there going, "Motherfucking what?" the fuck?
Yeah. I still remember the scene from the credits of The Last of Us where Ken Levine, whatever, is with Troy Baker and the woman who did that song.
Are you talking about BioShock Infinite?
No. Oh no, that's BioShock Infinite. Yes.
Yeah.
BioShock Infinite. Yes.
I was gonna say.
I got the fucking Ken. I don't know why I said Last of Us. I guess because Troy Baker's in
Because
that
they're both
song.
great games.
That too, but I got Troy Baker. Yeah, but that's in BioShock Infinite. Yeah. So, and that's someone who's like has no relationship to audio for the most part, but he is, he's the figurehead for that game and probably the one responsible for the majority of stuff in that game. So, it'd be interesting. I'd want to, if you ever do go into the AAA world and you survive it, I want to talk to you afterwards because I'd love to hear to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Good luck talking to him after that.
Yeah, we're gonna be too small time for him then.
We gotta get.
Listen,
I'm surprised we got him on the show, man.
Don't worry, JP. You already are.
There you go.
No, I'm mostly afraid of like how many people wear suits in AAA. it's terrifying. Like when you go to GDC and like you can really tell the difference because it's like here's a guy in a nice suit and he's groomed. Here's a guy with purple hair and 12 nose rings and a leather jacket.
Yeah.
That's Free Mandela on it or something.
Yeah. Well, I feel like maybe this is you can answer this, but are the PS4 execs more not that suity than the Xbox One guys? Because I feel like Adam Boys and like Shu and all them are just kind of like they're just kind of guys now. Or is that the outward looking approach that they're going for?
I mean I know guys on both sides and they're all cool normal people. Like I don't if there's any difference there, it's nothing I've noticed.
Okay. All right.
Like there's certainly it's usually like an age thing. I think once people get to be like 40, they just kind of stop wearing shorts, I guess.
Yeah.
And like cover the
legs get a little too white.
I got 5 good years left then.
No, I want to be rolling on like trendy ass clothes. I'm like 90, like whatever kids are wearing at the time.
Hey, cool.
Like,
hey, cool kids. Hey,
one wears titty tassels or something. Like I don't know what the kids are into.
Awesome. Let's take a break. I think we're good to take a break. We'll come back, talk. Danny he's got a Vive. Oculus launched this week. I've watched a lot of coverage of it, so we'll talk a little bit about VR. And then we'll also there you go. Nice. I like the googly eyes. Then we'll also talk a little bit about Dark Souls 3. Did you finish it, Co?
No, I've not finished it.
Okay, we'll talk about it then in some sense. Because I have finished it. We'll talk about it in some sense, and then also just everything else we've been playing. Zeke's finished The Walking Dead Season 2, and we'll find out what Danny's been playing as well. So let's take this break. We'll come back and go on the second half of Dropped Frames. I was about to say Dark Souls. That's not what we're coming back to. See you guys in just a bit.